Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Inside Lowell Daily Pulse, the Tuesday, June 10th edition of the Daily Pulse. I'm your host, Teddy Panos, coming here from the WellPoint Studios here in downtown Lowell, and thrilled today to be joined by Peter Aucella, the brains and the beauty behind the Lowell Summer Music Series.
Okay.
It takes place every summer at Boarding House Park, and since it's June 10th, I know your first show is just a stone's throw away, Peter.
I'm the harbinger of summer. That's
Yeah, that's right. I remember all these years on radio. I knew when I started interviewing you that winter was almost over and summer was coming. But how are you? How's it going?
I'm doing great, and we're very pleased to be back for our 35th season.
35 years.
Yep. And I'm sure you remember back in 1989 when the parking lot in front of the Boot Mills was being turned into an amphitheater, and they were planting trees. What's up with that? And so here we are 35 years later. I can't reach around the trees anymore. And they were little, smaller trees back then. And we've had an incredible array of music over the decades. So we're glad to come back with a strong lineup this year.
Yeah, you came out of COVID and you're back and you're growing. Soon enough, you'll have even all of your backup venues in play if and when they ever finish that school project.
One of the things, last year we were very cautious in our bookings because the high school auditorium was not going to be available to us as a rain location. And we were fortunate to get help from the university, who let us use Durgan Hall at the time. It's now called Maloney Performing Arts Center. And the Durgan Hall was half the capacity of the high school. So how do you operate? What happens when the day comes and you have to go in? You've got to make sure you haven't oversold for that smaller venue. Right. So that meant you couldn't book the bigger names. But thankfully, Lowell Memorial Auditorium is helping us out quite a bit this year. We'll be a few places, but mostly there. And that will allow us to do what we can do.
Well, you're going to be at Boarding House Park because we've gotten all of the weekend rain out of our system the last 2 months. So I think we have one more Saturday of rain forecast for this Saturday, but just in time for your summer music series, the rain's going away.
So the Boston Globe had an article, is this a pattern? And I'm like, I got to read that one. And they said, no, there's no such thing as a pattern of rain. But it sure looks like one. Yeah. But yes, it should break just in time. 10 days from now, June 20th. Friday is our first show.
Yes, it is. Just 10 days away, and we're going to look at the Summer Music Series, the lineup. We're going to talk a little bit about it, everything going on this summer, which includes some free fun for kids, as it always does. We're excited to have Peter Aucella here. We'll get to him in a quick second. Let me just thank my Daily Pulse sponsors, Ray Booten, licensed realtor in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, certified appraiser in both states as well. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, a business, or a commercial property, that's the one call to make. To Ray Booten. RealestateRayBooten.com is his web address. Get all the contact info, see all his listings. RealestateRayBooten.com. Thank you as well to our friends at WellPoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. Thanks to WellPoint for hosting us here in the WellPoint Studios. Thanks to Ray. Got some other sponsors. We'll thank them in a few minutes, but I want to get right down to it with Peter. Before we talk about your 35th season and the impressive lineup that you've lined up, I just want to ask you about funding. I know there's been a lot made over the last several months about the Lowell Folk Festival. And their funding. They had a $20,000 grant cut. There's a lot of talk about the national parks, which of course is where the Summer Music Series takes place. What is the status right now of your funding? Are you any concerns at all about this season? Is it next season that we need to start worrying about?
The Folk Festival, I always say as a joke that it has the world's worst business plan. It's free. Okay. So they are much more dependent on grants and government support. And they're making their way through, and they're going to make it happen, and it's going to be great. But they need all the help they can get. The Summer Music Series, the Park Service, does have staff in place for the summer. The lawn will be mowed, the lights will be on, and we don't get government subsidies, so this is all sponsorships and your admission ticket.
All right, so you don't sound overly concerned, which is good. That's what I like to hear.
I think we're good to go.
All right, perfect. So you mentioned the first show, Friday, June 20th, Gaelic Storm. They've been here before. We've talked about them before. But there's a new twist to Gaelic Storm, a local twist, dare I say.
This is their 5th time coming to the Summer Music Series because they're just a blast.
People show up to see them. Why wouldn't you keep bringing them back, right?
Last time they came was 2022. And they've had some lineup changes over the decades, and they had a new young fiddler, and usually the fiddlers are female in this band. And after the first couple of songs, the lead singer says, "Come on up here, Natalia. Tell these good folks where you're from." And she says, "I'm from Lowell, Massachusetts." And I think it was like her second show with the band, and you wouldn't have known it. I mean, she looked like she'd been there forever. But she, Christian Hill girl. And by the way, the band is 1 year older than she is. Okay. I believe she's 28 and they're 29 years old, the band. That's how long it's been around.
No kidding.
She, when we booked this, she's been on our Instagram, very kindly talking about how excited she is coming back to her hometown. And it's so lively, such a great show. And the lyrics to some of their songs are just hilarious, like "The Night I Punched Russell Crowe."
I remember that song, actually.
Born to be a bachelor. I was 1, but now I'm 44.
And that's a big seller for you as well, right?
Yeah.
So people don't want to wait. It's only 10 days away.
So the show is 7:30 p.m. Friday, June 20th, our opening night, Gaelic Storm. To tell you the truth, I have not heard if there's going to be an opening act or if they're doing 2 sets, but it'll be a great night. A lot of fun with this band.
It certainly will be. And then you get a day off on Saturday the 21st to welcome in summer. But big act on Sunday, June 22nd. One of those
another
rare Sunday shows, right?
Right, and another returning act, Los Lobos. People know La Bamba, but this is a band that has probably 20 albums to their credit. And they actually started out as a punk band in East L.A., if you can imagine. By the way, 50 years ago.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
They've been around that long?
They've been around that long.
Yeah,
that was 70s, 80s. Yeah. But they are a great rocking band with 3 lead guitarists. They can do acoustic. They can do. Sometimes they slip in a little Chicano taste of their Mexican heritage. But very, very talented musicians. A lot of fun. Great songs. One of my on my iPod, so to speak, on my phone. This is one of the bands I listen to all the time. So I'm really happy to have them back. And a secret to the Sunday shows is that they're going to start an hour earlier. We're going to see if by ending earlier, does that make it more customer friendly? We will see if this is a good idea. So right now, the Gaelic Storm show on Friday is 7:30 p.m. The Sunday show, June 22nd, by Los Lobos, is 6:30 p.m. Now, in that show, I know we are going to have an opening act, so Los Lobos will actually come on at 7:30.
All right, so it's going to be a fun opening weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Both whether it's the Irish music of Gaelic Storm or the rock and punk rock.
But the fun doesn't end.
No, it does not. You followed it up with another act. This is one you've been talking about an awful lot. You guys were excited to book Darlene Love. Yeah,
Darlene Love on Saturday, June 28th. Darlene Love has been called by Rolling Stone one of the best 100 singers. I'm presume they mean in rock. And she is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was inducted by Bette Midler and got to perform with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band backing her up. And she was singing lead. Darlene Love has toured with. She was on Elvis's L.A. show. L.A. shows at the sort of toward the end of his career. Toured with the Mamas and Papas, Tom Jones, Cher. In fact, Cher as recently as 2023. So
no kidding.
Yeah,
Cher is still doing it.
Believe it or not.
Holy moly.
Darlene Love. So while people know He's a Rebel, which was one of her big songs, she's got A Fine, Fine Boy, The Boy I'm Gonna Marry. You know, there's a whole slew of those early 60s girl group songs that were part of the wall of sound from Phil Spector, and who, by the way, renamed Darlene Wright as Darlene Love. So as part of his Total Control program.
It's easier to sell the love.
Yeah. So, by the way, 12-piece band and 2 sets, no opening act. So that'll be 7:30 Saturday, the 28th. It's going to be a great night in the park, and she's a real showman.
Has she been with you guys before?
No,
or was she part of the Middlesex?
She was part of the Middlesex community.
That's
right.
where I remember.
Right.
So
right.
not her first visit to Lowell, but her first time performing outdoors at Boarding House Park.
Right.
Oh, that's a big show. Saturday, June 28th. And then you back it up on Sunday, June 29th with one of these cover bands that has become all the rage. I think I almost feel like you guys started this trend. And I go way, way back to a show you did that was one of my personal favorites. And that was it was a ABBA and Bee Gees cover band.
Yeah,
the same singers
members of the group doing both things.
Groups after a short intermission. But I'm like, hey, this is actually cool. It's because it's not the acts, but and the music sounds just like what they're performing.
If you look around at even someplace like the Hampton Casino,
everyone's doing it now, right?
About a dozen of their shows are cover bands. So we're trying to keep it a minor element of our overall program because we like having the real deal come in and present themselves. But Eaglemania bills themselves as the world's greatest Eagles tribute. And they said, we're standing by it, world's greatest. And so we've got a special promotion going on because Father's Day is the 15th, I think, 16th. And as of today, you can buy 4 tickets for $99 for Father's Day. There's some ticket fees on there, but they're like $4, $5 ticket fees. And that promotion will go right through Father's Day. So, and then the show.
So it's on right now as we speak.
It's on right now.
Right now, you can get that's less than $25 a ticket. As I'm doing the
right.
See how smart I am?
Yeah. You have smarticles. It's if you have any interest in the Eagles, and you want to hear a group that does it right. And by the way, I when we booked them, I said, let me go through and look at how many hits the Eagles have.
Oh, they're not going to get to perform all of them.
There were like 16 or 17 top 20 hits. Then, by the way, these guys also do some of the songs by Don Henley, Glenn Frey, and Joe Walsh. So if you like that style of music, you're going to get it in a very first-class presentation. It'll be 2 sets.
Now, are these guys one of those cover acts? Because I know one of the things you pride yourself on is that cover bands you bring in, they perform the albums kind of note for note, or is that's classic albums live, right?
Yeah, we've had classic albums live a number of times, and again, their motto is cut for cut, note for note. But it's really the same thing here.
They sound just. I've heard their music. These guys sound. It's like listening to the Eagles.
Right, and they got the harmonies. I mean, when you think about it, you got to have the guitars right in every song. You know, I mean, if you're doing Hotel California.
They're testing fire alarms in our building right now, so we were afraid that might happen during the podcast, but
Okay. So anyway, the guitar sounds, every bit of that music, and I'm convinced that audiences that go see tribute shows are sitting there and they're waiting for that mistake. I'll know if you do something even slightly off. If that harmony doesn't hit, if that solo isn't right, I will know. And we've had some amazing shows, and this will be one of them. So.
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, talk about coming out of the gate strong in June. Gaelic Storm, Los Lobos, Darlene Love, Eagle Mania.
Right.
But that's a great quartet of shows in June.
We don't do shows over the 4th of July weekend. The last time we tried, it was a bust, and you'll never guess who it was.
I remember Daryl Hall.
It was Daryl Hall.
And you had one of those where they were sending out tornado warnings, I believe, so you had to panic and move everybody indoors. I remember that show.
And worse than that,
I was going to that
he was coming in on a small plane and came into somewhere on the South Shore. And we said, no, you're at the wrong airport. And we had to get him up to this area. But by the way, Daryl Hall was phenomenal. The band was phenomenal. I never understood why they had John Oates in Hall & Oates because I couldn't figure out what he did.
They needed somebody to take half the money.
Yeah,
and then try to sell the rights to the music afterwards.
But Daryl Hall is the whole story. I mean, he wrote the songs. He plays the keyboards, guitar, sings lead. The guy's unbelievable.
All right, so a busy June at the Lowell Summer Music Series.
But he's not coming to the Summer Music Series. He's coming to Lowell Memorial Auditorium on July 15th.
That's I think a Tuesday, if I remember. We're chatting with Peter Aucella from the Lowell Summer Music Series. We've got a few shows to talk about in July. We're going to drag him back to talk about the end of the season, which, by the way, features a cover performer that everybody's going to want to see. It might even bring an NFL football player to Lowell. Who knows? We'll just put that out there as a little tease. Let me just quickly thank our Daily Pulse sponsors, Ray Booten, licensed realtor in Mass and New Hampshire. Find him online. realestaterayBooten.com. Thanks as well to our friends at WellPoint. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. Washington Savings Bank, banking that feels like home. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. TMI Properties, quality and value at every price point. Find your perfect space with TMI. Mahoney Oil, providing warmth and protection in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. The Greater Lowell Community Foundation, improving the quality of life in our communities through strategic, impactful philanthropy. Francis E. Preventure Insurance, the agency Greater Lowell has counted on since 1982. And by the Massachusetts Pirates, who bring all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Mill City Pirates' next home game, Saturday, June 21st at the Tasongas Center. Peter Aucella is back. All right, so you told us you're taking the 4th of July weekend off. You don't want to bring any thunderstorms or tornado warnings to Lowell, but you've got a show to kick off July, Friday, July 11th. Dare I say it's out of this world?
Galactic. Intergalactic. No, Galactic is the name of the group. And they have been a fixture in New Orleans for probably 3 decades. And they are a soul funk party band is really what they are. In fact, there's a place in New Orleans called Tipitina's, which is the club to go to if you want to hear great New Orleans music. And when something came up and the owners were about to lose or sell out or retire or whatever, the band went in and bought Tipitina's.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
that's their home base now. But they have toured festivals all over the country. They're not up in this part of the woods very often. Galactic features Jelly Johnson. And Jelly Johnson is Angelica Johnson. It's not as, no,
I was thinking of an overweight guy who's got, like that.
I know you were thinking of
Krispy Kreme
you were
cream
thinking
on
of
his-
donuts. Yeah, I know you were.
Of course
I knew
was.
that. So she is a very charismatic singer, whether it's ballads or crazy funk rave ups. It's going to be a blast. So Galactic is Friday, July 11th, again 7:30 show, and then the following weekend. We got very lucky at the end of our booking and landed a show by Grace Potter.
Yeah, this was the last one you announced.
Very last one,
correctly, right?
And will probably be our biggest show.
Yeah, Thursday, July 17th.
Right, and that was the thing. We actually had a children's show that Thursday morning. We said we don't anymore. Let's go into Friday because Grace Potter is going to be where Grace Potter wants to be. So Grace Potter and the Nocturnals were out in the early 2000s and actually did a show for us in 2006. Just as they were coming up in stature, their first album had really taken off, and they were playing just a routing through New England when they got a call. Can you come? The day before our show, they had open. Can you come to Red Rocks in Colorado? They get on a plane, New England, Red Rocks, and then back to Lowell. So I have a feeling they don't remember the Lowell show. But she is a Bonnie Raitt, Janis Joplin kind of singer. She's got it. Great songwriter.
She have the same raspy voice.
She can. She doesn't all the time, but she can. And she plays Hammond organ and some really great rock guitar. And this will be a rockin' show, and it'll be a big deal to have Grace Potter here. I saw her at a sold-out House of Blues show a few years ago, and she just captivates the place.
19 years after making it big, she's returning to Lowell. Right. She bringing her, what is it, a dozen Grammys? Oh, she's got a bunch of Grammys, right? Did I see that correctly?
She's got several.
I'm putting you on the spot, but she's got a bunch of them.
I don't know that right off, but she's. She's just got a body of work that has built over time. She was on tour opening for the Rolling Stones, and they had her come on stage to help with "Gimme Shelter," the female part in "Gimme Shelter." She got the pipes to do it.
Oh no! Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I bet she could belt that out pretty well.
She did. So. Again, a great coup there. A lot of folks may not know her. She's not, a top 40 singer or whatever, but in the world of rock, she's out there. She's a major name. And again, I want to point out, at lowellsummermusic.org, when you click on any of the shows, it takes you, first of all, to all the ticket information, everything you need to know, the show times, etc. There's a bio, and then there are usually a couple of videos. So you can see right there a couple of videos of each artist doing their thing because, no one video really captures it all. Two doesn't really do the job, but it's what we got. And then we have a link to their website.
And generally, when you put the videos, you're putting videos from a live performance. Yeah. So you can actually hear that this isn't studio mixing and digitizing. Yeah. These are pretty much everybody you bring can belt the tunes. Right. And the great thing about Boarding House Park, for those who've never been to one of the shows, it's an outdoor venue with arguably the best acoustics of any outdoor venue. Just we like to brag here in Lowell.
Well, I'm ruined.
Little buildings kind of surround the park.
I am ruined. Anywhere I go to see music, it's like, well, it would be better at Boarding House Park. When the park was being built, I stood on the stage before it was complete and looked out, and I said, "Oh no, the school building. The music's going to come right out, hit the school building, bounce off, hit the mill building." And bounce back. We're going to have this big echo chamber. I said, I hope somebody thought about this. Because I was not involved with the design, but I was very much involved with the construction. And true to form, you get no echo at all. I'm told you can hear it really well in Christian Hill. Yeah.
There are some shows you can hear in channels.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get my hearing back from that B-52s.
Oh, that was a blast, though.
A few years ago. Sure was. Seeing you bebopping your head in the front row was
could you not?
The highlight for me. But Grace Potter, Thursday, July 17th. Right. Get these tickets quickly. And for those of you in Lowell or local communities who may not have heard of her, a lot of people have. So if you think you're going to wait till the last minute, She's going to sound a lot better than that fire alarm.
Yep.
Get your tickets now for Grace Potter.
Yep.
And then in July, you always put this on your calendar. Speaking of, free fun for kids. Well, we got free fun for everybody on July 25th to 27th.
The Lowell Folk Festival. I mean, I'm one of the founders of it, back.
Yes, you are. One of the fathers of the folk
A couple
festival.
of years, when Joe Wilson was walking the Lowell Park people around downtown saying, we could put a stage there. St. Anne's Church. We could put a stage at JFK Plaza. And I'm thinking, I really like this guy because he wasn't, nothing concerned him. He saw how it could all fit together. And today, it's just such a phenomenal festival. So I always say, I put them on the list here. It's not a ticketed event, free event, Friday through Sunday, July 25th to 27th. People just need to know the dates, and they come out of the walls for this.
But it's an opportunity to showcase Boarding House Park, because that is the main stage. That's the one that goes late into the night. And with all, you've had to bounce around. You used to be at South Common. You've been on the Dutton Street Park. You've been all over. But Boarding House Park has been the one constant.
Yeah, the Folk Festival, actually, the first 3 years were the National Folk Festival, and they were before Boarding House Park was built. So it was only when we got to the first year, 1990, to the first year, so 87 or 88, I think, was 87, 88, 89 were the National, and then by 1990, the first Lowell Folk Festival, Boarding House Park, was done and ready to go.
That's right. And if I remember, you used to have your stages through the downtown, as you mentioned, the St. Anne's. But then you would have the kind of the parade of flags that's now. You would do that at night, and everybody would follow the bands.
That's right.
Walking down to South Common. Now it opens quite a parade as well.
And it opens the festival, and it's really such a wonderful thing to see, particularly in this day and age. All the ethnic groups, the ethnic flags coming through, and everybody just cheering them all on, and it's the way it should be.
All right, 7 shows going to take us, if you count the folk festival, seven nights at Boarding House Park.
Get you through July. Let me just give you the quickie for August. We come back right after the folk festival, August 3rd, with 𝐶𝐫.
Is that how it's pronounced? I was thinking 𝐶𝐫 when I first saw the announcements. 𝐶𝐫.
𝐶𝐫. They are. It's Hawaiian. It means the voice.
Ah.
The band is from Iceland. Why do they have a Hawaiian name? I do not know. But anyway.
They like Don Ho. I don't know.
But let me tell you, they are a big name, and that'll be a big show for us Sunday, August 3rd. The Wood Brothers are coming back Friday, August 8th. Sierra Hull, Sunday, August 10th. Tremendous mandolin player, but what a great singer. Josh Ritter and the Royal City Band, Sunday, August 24th. The 44th annual Banjo and Fiddle contest predates the Folk Festival, the Summer Music Series.
Predates the National Park, doesn't it?
It has 35th Summer Music Series. I feel so young. But anyway, the 44th Banjo and Fiddle contest is Saturday, September 6th. Then we bring on Saturday, September 13th, Let's Sing Taylor is coming back, which is a tribute to Taylor Swift, live band, live singer, dancers, lots of friendship bracelets.
By far your youngest crowd,
demographic.
Right?
So that was a blast. We did it last year, and we said, we got to have that back. Too much fun. And then we finish up with Big Head Todd and the Monsters, a little bit of your 90s touch there on Sunday, September 14th. So season pass is on sale just for the next 10 days, and it averages out to $41 a ticket. There are no ticket fees. So,
always the best value.
Yeah, it's if you're around town and think you can use the tickets, and if you can't use the tickets, you can give them to somebody else. So you get a stack of tickets.
Yes, indeed. And there's the full lineup, minus the folk festival and the banjo and fiddle contest. What's interesting is the banjo fiddle contest usually ends the performances at Boarding House Park, but now you've started putting some acts afterwards. Booking, again, COVID changed the world and the booking world and whatnot, but, to be able to bring in a Taylor Swift tribute type thing, when the kids are back in school and the kids are back in college,
I'm sure they'll be talking it up.
That's brilliant scheduling by you guys.
Thank you.
So you mentioned the season pass. That's the best value. You mentioned the individual tickets. You've mentioned the website. one more time, give everybody the info how they can go get their tickets.
So lowellsummermusic.org, on the website, you can, first of all, find all the information, but also buy your tickets right there. It's very convenient. But if you'd like to do it without ticket fees, and the ticket fees are called out right on the website there. It's all very clear. You can go down to the Lowell Memorial Auditorium box office, which is serving as our box office for the Lowell Summer Music Series, and you don't have to pay the ticket.
So you're still doing that? No ticketing fees if you go down in person to the
Correct.
Lowell Memorial Auditorium.
Correct.
And, you know, grab tickets to one of their shows as well.
It works for all of us.
It's a great summer of music. The acts you had, you know, congratulations to you for putting this schedule together. I know it's not easy, and I know you kind of have to wait for commitment. You have to wait for these fire alarms, but you have to wait for commitments. You know, some of these acts have other things that they're trying to prioritize.
We had other dates that we were absolutely sure were going to be set in our calendar, and then they say, "Oh no, we've decided to go to the West Coast instead." It's like, you didn't think about that. You lined up a whole tour for the East Coast and said, "No, think I'll go west."
Let's go to the West Coast. Bummer.
I don't know. I don't understand.
All right. Well, it's a fun time, and again, the venue is perfect for an outdoor venue. It's small and quaint enough, but it's big enough to bring over 1,000 people to shows. And what are the shows that people should be, if they're interested, get your tickets now because they could be sold out? Grace Potter, we've talked about.
Sure. I mean, 𝐶𝐫, actually one of the big sellers.
𝐶𝐫 will be that big, huh?
𝐶𝐫 is a big show. Gaelic Storm is actually is one of our leading sales right now.
And that's the one 10 days away.
Yeah, that's the Friday, June 20th, our opening night.
And we should note that if you do try to get tickets for a show and for some reason it's marked sold out, don't quit. Put your name on a waiting list, right?
Yeah.
Because you might, if the weather clears up, because you can only sell as many tickets as you have for your backup venue, right?
If we have, and we do have most nights, Lowell Memorial Auditorium as our rain location.
You may want to pray for rain a few nights.
Right. Then we will put more tickets on sale because Lowell Memorial Auditorium is bigger than Boarding House Park.
So it's plenty of opportunities to see some great music, rain or shine, but it's usually sunny. The rain does move away especially once we get out of June.
You know, and then we're an outdoor series. We try to do things outdoors. On the other hand, we want to be safe. If we see thunderstorms coming through or something that's going to be impossible to work through, we deal with it. But we had a show last year where it rained in the morning. It cleared a little bit late morning. They set up the stage. It rained again all afternoon. And then by showtime, it cleared. And it was, good luck to us if that keeps happening. But
the best meteorologists in the business are at Lowell Summer Music Series. There's some different sponsors displaying their wares. There's some vendors out there selling some things as well. And let's not forget, before I let you go, and I promise we'll bring you back in July, and hopefully they won't be testing the fire alarms. Free fun for kids, that starts Wednesday, July 9th. And these are usually Wednesday and Thursday shows, unless Grace Potter kicks them out.
Right.
That are free. And the kids love them. I brought my kids to multiple shows, and they have a ball.
And you get free art activities with National Park Rangers. You get free children's books thanks to Project Learn, which is just a wonderful thing. Free healthy snacks thanks to folks like Stony Field Organic and gluten-free cookies that are really tasty from Home Free and other brands. The Lowell Public Schools nutrition program comes down and provides free lunches as they do in the parks over the summer. Well, this year, we're going to have some play groups through one of the Lowell school systems programs. There's going to be some play groups before the event. And when the show, which we haven't mentioned what the shows are, but when the stage show is over, they're about 45 minutes, the National Park trolleys are going to be available. And you can get in line and get a free trolley ride across to the visitor center and back. And what kid doesn't want a trolley ride after we've filled them up with candy and cookies and yogurt.
The parents enjoy it. So you have Dino Man, inflatable dinosaurs. My son will be in heaven. Curious Creatures, which is always
This is the opportunity to pat the alligator. You never want to miss that one. It's one of our. We do it every year because it's our biggest turnout every year.
The Yo-Yo Show.
World champion.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Yo-Yo World Champion.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then a Rare Friday show, July 18th. That's the one you had to bump because of Grace Potter.
And what's also rare about it's called Animal Craze, and it's not on the stage at all. We're going to set up little pens right in the park on the grass, and you can pet the piglets, the duckies, the little chicks, the baby goat. It's meant to be a baby animal petting zoo.
Who's cleaning up after that? Because you got the folk festival.
They do.
They clean up. Okay, good. Because you may want to bring an extra blanket for the folk festival
or a rake.
The Red Trouser Show.
That's an acrobatic show, and these guys are. They do wear red trousers, but they'll end up. One guy will have his be on top of the other guy, but upside down, right, head to head.
Oh, Jesus.
And then they'll walk around the park. But they also do some amazing stuff with these tall ladders and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun.
Robert Clark, Magic and Juggling.
Yep.
Upbeat songs with Matt Heaton and the Outside Toys.
Musical group.
We've got Comedy and Puppets, Good News Gus. Any relation to Uncle Gus, who I used to watch on Channel 9 as a kid?
No, looks an awful lot like Cookie Monster, but...
Okay. All right. And you ended on Thursday, August 14th with Mariana Iranzi, Latin Sounds.
Yeah. So
little
it's a
dancing going on that night.
Yeah.
Or that morning.
That morning, yeah. So 10 a.m. It starts. So again, go to littlesummermusic.org. There's a button for free fun for kids. Tells you the times, the activities, a little explanation of every show, everything you need to know about doing it. And if it rains, we're going directly across the street to the Freshman Academy, which have people enter at the door right across from the John Street parking garage. There's a door on John Street.
So you have a free fun for kids indoor site as well.
Yes.
This I did not know.
Oh, we've always had one.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
That's because the weather's always so nice. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. The full lineup, lowellsummermusic.org.
Yep.
Follow them on social media. Follow us on Inside Lowell as well.
Yep.
We'll keep telling you about all the great things coming up this summer. A lot of good stuff to do in the Mill City for those who aren't traveling. Why do you have to travel? Just staycation, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Peter Aucella, thank you for joining us on the Daily Pulse. We'll bring you back in July to kind of get in more in depth in the second half of the season and talk about what a successful first half of the season it was. Right. All right. Thank you to Peter Aucella. Thank you as well to you for tuning in to the Daily Pulse. Drops every day at noon, keeping a finger on the pulse of Lowell and the world around it. Tomorrow, a special guest host. I'm taking the day off. Madame President Danielle McFadden will be here. She's got some special guests lined up. Thursday, I forget what the heck I have planned for you. Leslie Boder will be here on Friday. We'll be back again next week with lots of shows. As we say, Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place. Till next time, everybody stay safe, and we'll catch you on the other side.